So today I wanted to talk about pure recursion. This is a kind of a hard topic to wrap your head around. It took me a while to figure it out. So yeah, it just takes some practice to find out exactly what the function's doing. But I wanted to give you guys an example on how you would create a pure recursion function that collects all even numbers. So let's do that now. So first, I want to create a function, and we're going to call it call even values or vals, call even val, and we're going to pass it an argument called even. Okay, so first we're going to create a variable called new array, and we're going to set that to an empty array. And this variable is going to get set to an empty array on each recursion call, and I'll show you that in a minute. So then what we want to do is create an if statement, and we're going to check if even dot length is equal to 0, and if it is, we want to return our new array. Okay, so let's call this function at the bottom here so we don't forget. Call even val, and we're going to pass in the array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to create another if statement. If even 0 is divided by 2 is equal to 0. So if it divides evenly into 2, then we want to push the first number in the even array to our new array. New array dot push even 0. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Call even val. Let's see what our error is. Expected token. Oh. There you go. Okay, let's save that. Okay, so next, here's where the recursion call happens. We're gonna set new array, our variable up here, and we're gonna make it equal to new array dot concat call even values or even val, and then we're going to even dot slice 1, and then eventually we want to return new array. So we have all of these errors here. Let's clear this out. Okay, and let's just close out the console so it stops giving us so many errors. Cancel, save. Okay. Okay. So this is where the recursion call happens. On each call, we're slicing it by 1. So for instance, when we call even down here, when it reaches this part of the code, it'll slice off the first number, and it will do it again. It'll call the same function, but only for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this will keep happening until we get an empty array. When we get an empty array, it will meet the base case up here, and it will return a new array. So first, let's find out if this function even works. Let's open up the inspector, the console, and we're going to create a snippet. So let's go to sources. We're going to create a new snippet, and we are going to copy and paste the function here to here. Okay, we're going to run this code here. So let's hit Control Enter. And you can see it did collect all of the even values, collected 2 and 4 from this array down here. So our pure recursive function works. So I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. So I also created this section down here, and it's called How It Works. So at first, we call the function here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it sets up a new variable called new array, and it sets it to an empty array. If the array that's being passed in here if its length is 0, then it's going to meet the base case and it's going to stop. In this case, it isn't, so we're going to skip this return here. Then it's going to go to the next if statement. If the first number, that's what even 0 is, the first index, if index 0 is divided by 2 evenly, then it's going to push our first number into our new array. Okay, in this case, 1 does not divide evenly by 2, so it's going to skip this. So we're back down here. New array dot concat, and it's going to call the function again, but it's only going to call it on array 2, 3, 4, and 5. So essentially we have this empty array because there's nothing in our new array since 1 did not divide by 2 evenly. So we have an empty array, concat, and then it's calling the function again with 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it happens again. Okay, so the variable new array is set to empty. Is our array that's being passed in, is its length 0? No, it's not, so we skip that. Now the first number is 2, is 2. Is 2 divided by 2 evenly? It is, so it's pushing the number 2 to our new array. So now we have a 2 up here. And then again, we go down here, new array equals new array dot concat, and then it calls the function again. So now we have this. We have the number 2 in our new array, and it wants to concat, but it's calling the function again. But it's only calling the function now with 3, 4, and 5. With 3, 4, and 5. So again, we call it. Our new array is sent to an empty array. Is the length of even 0? No, it's not, because we still have 3, 4, and 5. Is 3 divided by 2 evenly? No, it's not, so it skips this. Is new array is now equal to new array dot concat. So again, we have an array that's empty because 3 did not divide by 2 evenly. Dot concat, it's calling the function again, but again, because of this even dot slice, it's only calling the function with 4 and 5. Okay, so we do the process again. Up here, new array is again set to empty. If even dot length is equal to 0, is our array's length 0? No, it's not. We still have 2 numbers in there, 4 and 5. Okay, So we skip this. Is our first number, which is now 4, divided by 2 evenly? It is. So it pushes the 4 to our new array. So now we have a 4 in this in our variable new array. So we go down here. New array equals new array dot concat call even val, and again we're slicing it by 1. So down here we have one number 4 in our new array, and then we want to concat that with call even value 5. And now we only have one value in our even array. Okay, so let's go back up here. Again, we set new array to an empty array. Is our length 0? No, it's not. So we skip this return here. Is 5 evenly divided by 2? No, it's not. So we don't push anything to our new array. So then we set new array equals new array dot concat even slice 0. So there's nothing in our new there's nothing in our new array. So it's an empty array dot concat call even value. And now we have an empty array. So let's go back up here. Okay, so now we have an empty array, and we're going to go through the process one more time. Again, new array is set to an empty array. If even.length is equal to 0, well, at this point it is. There is nothing in our arguments that is being passed in as even, so our even array is 0. So it does meet the base case now. So what does that mean? We returned the new array. Well, return new array, this is now returning an empty array. Okay. Okay. So now that we know it met our base case, all of these functions here are waiting to be returned. And that's where we finally reach line number 13 here, return new array. So here, okay, call even 5 was waiting for this to return, and this finally returned when we met our base case here. Okay, so we can now say that call even 5 evaluated to an empty array. So this returned an empty array. Okay. So what's 4 concat to an empty array? Well, that's just 4. So it will actually, when we reach this return new array, it's going to just return 4. Okay. So again, this line up here was waiting for this to return. So now we're executing line 13 again. Okay, return new array. Okay, so this returned evaluated to array 4. Array with a number 4 inside it. So now we can say, okay, concat to 4. Okay. So again, up here, this was waiting to return. So what's an empty array when you concatenate with an array with another array that has number 4 in it? Again, that's going to return just 4. An array with the number 4 inside of it. So return 4 again. So this returned. And now you can see the 2 there. So now it's going to concatenate 2 and 4. Okay. So now that we know that this returned 2 and 4 when we concatenated it, right? So return 2 and 4. And now this line up here was waiting for this to return, which returned the array 2 and 4. So now we are going to concatenate an empty array with the array with digits 2 and 4 inside of it, which just leaves us with an array of 2 and 4. And that is how pure recursion works.